I have a gasket that I need for my three-wheeler. The three-wheeler is a shop project, and I've been seeing a lot of it lately. Just haven't had anything else interesting, and nobody really wants to watch me sharpen a blade on a lawnmower, I don't think, or push more. Got this gasket. They don't make it anymore. I'm going to show you how to make one. The first thing we're going to talk about is gasket paper. Everybody thinks gasket paper is really something fancy. As long as your surfaces are nice and smooth and everything, manila folders make great gasket paper. Beer boxes with that little bit of thin waxy stuff on them makes excellent gasket paper. There's a lot of different options. I'm going to show you how to print this out using your home scanner and printer, and then you can use whatever paper you want to print it on and just cut it out with scissors. You used to do this a lot different. You used to trace everything, all that. This is actually easier, in my opinion, because it's kind of like an art project. So we're going to flip the camera around and go from there. This is our gasket. It was in pretty rough shape. In fact, it came off in a couple pieces, and some of the pieces were only held together by the RTV that you see on it. So I actually used just packing tape because I had it. Scotch tape would work as well. And I taped it down to a piece of paper. I'm going to take that and I'm going to put it here on this cheapo. I know there's a little bit of oil bleeding through. I washed this thing off like 3 times. It really doesn't seem to matter. We're going to put it on this cheapo HP printer. It's 2700 series. I got paid $50 for this scanner. I'm gonna go down. I can't see. Scan. We'll do a time lapse on that. Okay, so there's our picture. Our gasket is still in here, so we're just going to go print the thing. Let's see. Now we want it to not be shrink to fit. No scaling. It can crop because that means cut the edges off. Full page, paper, plain paper. Output quality, draft, doesn't need to be anything fancy. I just cannot see where this mouse is through this camera. Tap print, and with any luck, now that's about as good as you get right there. I bet if we were to kind of jog these up, let's see. Yeah. So as you can see, those are the exact same size. And if that was printed off on some decent, like manila folder or something that was cut down to 8.5 by 11, which is the standard paper size for these kind of copiers and printers, you'd have your gasket. All you gotta do is cut it out. It doesn't matter, it's printed on. It's nothing fancy. So to me, that way's really good because then I have a picture of it, which means that instead of just making one gasket off of normal stuff, I can print out an infinite number of gaskets if I need to. I've got an art file. It's saved. It's full deal. And if I had that that cry cut that my mother gave us, I can cut gaskets out on it. So it's a brave new world out there. All you got to do is try and get the entire gasket off. If not, they get kind of skewed a little bit. So sometimes you can do it with a partial, and sometimes you just end up tracing the part onto the paper. But if you do that for stuff that you can't get anymore, like this is a discontinued part. I found it on eBay that one gasket's going to be like $30 after shipping. It's just one little gasket. It wasn't leaking when I pulled it off, but it had a bunch of RTV all around it, and sure enough, there was RTV down inside the case. It's not a huge deal on these. There's no oil filter to plug, but there are a couple small orifices, drain back holes where engine oil is supposed to get into the it was kind of like a PTO assembly. It's the high-low gearbox, and I just wanted a new gasket. I wanted to clean it up, get all the crap out of it, and I was putting chain on anyways, so this seems like the logical conclusion. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something today.